What's up, everybody? Today is a day to talk about Monero monthly charts. You will rarely see these patterns happening around because they are long time frame patterns. So the first thing I want to talk about that we are working with right now is this trend line that we did by using the August 2021 top and April 2022 top. This one right here becomes a downside trend line, right? So a trend line going to the south, right? Now you could claim that although it looks like we are testing the trend line, you could just claim that we are just in the same range as it always has been, right? And you're right about that. But there's a funny thing about patterns in the market, which is one of the one of the plays of patterns is breaking the pattern. You know, the pattern itself is good, but breaking the pattern is even better. So a market ranging forever is beneficial to whoever is buying at low and selling at the top. But this is not how the market works because it's a predatory environment. So you have to break the pattern at some point so you can liquidate everybody and take their money out. That's how it works. So anyway, we have this downside trend line here. And although we could say that we are testing the range, this downside trend line could give us a hint about the timing to break the pattern, right? About the timing, because the trend line obeys time too. You see, it goes down across time. So that's the idea. And at the same time, if we're going to break this pattern here, this ranging pattern, with all the Binance delisting. So Binance delisting was in February 2024 and Kraken delisting was in October 2024, right? And we did not break the lows. We did respect the June 2022 low and we did respect the February 2024 low and we did respect the previous fractal low even with Kraken delisting. So something is happening here. Anyway, we are working now with a major time frame channel, right? Which is this one. You get you get these 3 points here. So you have the bottom, the top, and the bottom here. So you can trace the channel. Now, why am I choosing this bottom and not this one? Well, because if you use this one, it becomes a very aggressive channel. And these types of channels, they rarely work because the market cannot sustain it, right? Like if you get a trend line like this, man, this is not going to last for so long, you know? But if you get a trend line like this, well, you can bet on this trend line. This is really safe, way more safer. So this is how I see this channel, and this channel reminds me a lot of Ethereum channel. So this is what we are working with. Now let's go to the quarterly charts. And the quarterly charts, although we had the cracking the listing there, it did not break the previous quarter low. And we actually went really down there, defended it, and we are now back to the quarterly open. So, well, that's a signal there. You see these little details how they tell us a story because it's data and you have to read the data and it takes time to read the data. Of course, I'm doing this for 12 years, so it gets easier. So now let's go to 12-month chart, so 1 year chart here, and you can see that. Let me erase everything. You can see that in the previous year, 2023, it was a doji, right? It was an inside bar, kind of a doji, in an inside bar anyway. And in 2022, we have these breakout to the downside. It looked like it was going down, but it didn't. It just became a inside bar. And in this year, we had this breakout to the downside, and we did not sustain this breakout to the downside, and we're back close to the open, really, really close to the open. So my bet is that we're probably going to make an outside bar, although we have a little bit of time to the end of the year, or we're going to close as this hammer or hanging man or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, it tells you that we did a false breakout to the downside. We are back at the starting point, and well, that's a good signal. So that's it for this video, and I hope you guys got the macro time frame view for 2025.